What's up, everybody? Trix Ridiculous back with another video, and I wanted to come out with a little bit of a guide for you guys showing you how to farm god rolls in patch 2.4 and beyond, because it's a little bit different. You may have heard slot locking is back. That's kind of true. It's not the traditional slot locking the way you may have known it from, past patches and past versions of the game, but it is slightly different and functions relatively the same way. And the setup for farming god rolls right now is actually really easy to do. And then once you're kind of set up to do it, you can actually farm them pretty quick and pretty accurately. So I'm going to show you how to kind of set that up and how to go about grinding in this video. Before we do, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel for more Avengers content. Be sure to join the Discord as well, link in the description. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. So with the addition of patch 2.4, as you know, the big change is that the objectives from any of the hero events, the event rewards, in this case, just at the time I'm doing this, it's the Tachyon event. So I've got all but 2 of them actually done. But these are 2 that will both work, and you'll see that they give a superior reward, right? So it's superior Tachyon Surge gear and then a superior minor artifact, right? One of them, this one only gives the gear, but this one gives the gear and the artifact. So either way, that's besides the point, because all you care about is the gear. The artifact doesn't actually matter. But we're in a unique situation in patch 2.4 where completing an objective like this will give you only 1 piece of gear, versus in the past, you guys know, if you did a raid or you did a omega level threat, you always got 2 pieces of gear and 1 artifact. That way it would always, you would either get like the 2 pieces of gear or then the other 2 pieces of gear that you needed. Then it would go back to the other 2 pieces of gear, right? It would even you out, and then you'd have 2. It would always be in pairs of 2, right? But in this case, we're in a situation where we can get 1 piece of gear at a time. So that helps us. And that's actually, to our benefit, to be able to more hone in on the gear that we want to get. So how do we do that? Well, looking at my Kate right now, so my Kate could potentially be set up to farm god rolls here. So you'll see my highest piece of gear across all of my pieces here. So I've got a 150, and just so you guys know, this is like straight up. There's nothing hiding in my inventory that's higher. But I've got a 150 here and a 150 4-slot piece, but my 2 and my 3 are both 148, right? So they're both lower. So the way the game works, and this is kind of how it's a little similar to slot locking. Slot locking used to do this, but it didn't give you a powerful reward. In this case, if I complete either one of these objectives, it's going to give me either a 2-slot or a 3-slot. And the only reason it's doing that is because the game knows that these are my 2 lowest pieces. It knows that the other 2 pieces are 150 and these slots are 148. So it's going to give me one of these 2 to try to bring them all even, right? Now, it'll be one of the 2, right? It's not guaranteed to be one or the other. And if all 4 of them are the same, right? If they're all at 150, it could be any of them, right? But that's how it works. It goes by whatever is the lowest. That's the one you have the chance of getting. Now, how do you set it up to farm, right? So in this case, I'm set up where my ranged piece and my defensive piece are the 2 lower pieces. So the next one of these that I do is going to give me one of the 2. Now, obviously, we're going to be save scumming here, right? So I'm not going to show you how to do that. You may already know, or just watch a video on it. I have videos on it as well. But basically, you're going to edge a couple of these objectives to the point where they can be easily, save scummed. And then what you're going to want to do is, so if I was doing this for my Kate, what I would do is complete one of these, see if I get the ranged or the defense piece, right? If I do get the ranged piece, I don't want that, right? Because I'm trying to get just my ranged piece to be my lowest. So if I get the ranged piece, I'm going to do a save reset or a save scum and then complete the objective again to try to get a defense piece to bring the defense piece to 150. Okay, so that's where it gets a little unique here. Back in the day, you had to get them in twos, right? So you could only have, so if you had a ranged and a defensive piece, you complete an objective, you're going to get one of the two. All right. And that can still work. It's just going to take you twice as long because you're going to be randomly getting defensive pieces that you don't want, right? Assuming farming God rolls, it's really all ranged pieces, right? So that's the slot that you want. But the way it's going to work, what you do is you're going to want to just complete one of these, make sure that you're save resetting to fill up all the other slots. And like I said, in my case, it happens to be the ranged and the defense, but in your case, it might be multiple. And even if all four of them are the same, you can do this either way. You can do save resetting to try to make sure you get everything else but the ranged piece, right? That way you leave your ranged piece as the only piece that's lower than 150. Or I'm saying 150, but in general, whatever level you're at, the lowest, right? Now, important caveat here, this does obviously only work on characters who are not yet 175. If you're 175 across the board, you're not going to be able to do this with any consistency because the game knows that your gear is 175. So it's not going to be able to just kind of give you other things or anything like that. The other thing is that, and this is I get this question a lot, and it's kind of a common misconception, you cannot just change your gear, right? If I just went like this and said, oh, look, now my lowest slot is 140 in the range, so it has to give me the ranged, that's not going to work. That's not how the game works. The game still knows that I need a ranged or a defense piece to bring up to 150 because it knows what my highest possible in that slot is, okay? So it doesn't work that way. You can't fake it. You have to set it up where the max you have in every slot is higher than your maximum possible in the range slot. And then from there, once you've set that up, then you can get yourself into a save scumming mode where, again, you can just set this up to be an easy completion. Just edge one of these kind of right to the top, and then just keep save scumming it over and over until you get the ranged piece that you need. But that's it. So kind of like slot locking, but a little more manual effort. But that's really it. Like I said, the reason this works, and it's not really a cheese in any way, shape, or form, but it's really just that the game knows what pieces of gear you have max possible in every slot, and the game will try to give you whatever piece you are lowest in to catch you up to the rest of your pieces, right? It's not going to keep giving you higher and higher melee pieces when your ranged piece is still low. It's gonna try to always even you out, right? So that's how it works, and that's why it works to get it that way. But like I said, we're in a unique situation where we can get one piece at a time versus always having to get two. So you can, if you take this little extra effort that I described to just make sure you fill out everything else first, you can then focus on your ranged piece being your lowest. But that's it. And like I said, this will work right now at the time of this recording. It's the Tachyon anomaly mission, but it doesn't have to be this one. This should be able to work with the Cosmic event, the Ruska protocols, the Red Room event, whatever, Corrupt Vibranium, whatever event is going on, as long as it's giving these gear increases. And like I said, it does only work on characters that are lower than 175 right now. But that's it. If you learned something, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the Discord, all that good stuff. That is it for me, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.